Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you're viewing this video. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Deana. Thank you so much for gathering with me, sharing your vibe and energy. We're gathering and trying to create a little tribe here for our higher path and purpose. Under the deck, we're seeing perception and transition here. So maybe you're sensing a significant transition in your own life, your own energy, a shift in your point of attraction. So splitting a deck, consciousness and romantic love, and this says this supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. And consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. So it's not about just seeing the trees. The forest has a diverse shared root system that shares nutrients. The canopy has a functionality too, and so that seeing the forest through the trees is similar to then also taking that awareness of the physical root system, and then with our knowledge that the tree takes in carbon dioxide and exchanges oxygen outward, then it also has a field. I don't know if any of you viewed yesterday's video where in the comment section, I shared one of Dan Winter's interviews with a series of gentlemen, and there was so much information in that. If you are at all scientifically, some would say nerdy, yeah, go and enjoy that video. It has so much deeper meaning into the code cards and why sacred geometry equates with soul harmonics and activation codes. It's all a wave function. Everything in this universe is a wave function, whether we're talking about sight, sound, light, X-ray, radiation, heat. Everything is a wave function, and it stems from, in the individual, the soul harmonic starts with the initial heartbeat and this series of layers of muscles around the heart and the orientation and the way that everybody's heart begins to beat begins a ripple effect of wave functions actually emanating forth from something that has, the way he identifies it is considering the whole entire auric shield and the emanations, those harmonics, as your plasma signature. So your energetic signature, plasma, just kind of the all that you are. And he says that the Fibonacci sequence, the golden spiral ratio that starts all life, where you'll see that initial fertilized egg first beginning to kind of implode, dimpling into itself, and then as it comes over unto itself, it becomes in a 3D fashion, like a donut, a toroidal field, which then nests harmonically inside of other larger macrocosmic functions, such as we see the gravitational exchange between planetary influences, between societies, between bartering governments and economics. You can witness the macrocosm, and then the microcosm. We're ultimately supposed to be nested within the harmonic Schumann frequency of the earth itself, and that's where our plasma signature is perfectly nested in the appropriate harmonic octave, where then that energy is unimpeded and comes back, which he calls that returning their recursive. Then that is the dimpling, the implosion. That's the 0 point energy at the core of the heart, 444. That is then the more accelerated and excited and delighted the higher vibrational frequencies of gratitude over shame, for instance, the more recursive and the faster recursive energy is like the lightning bolt activations coursing through our body and systems, activating the DNA, because if you may remember from any biology classes or physiology, you'll see them equate the ladder, the double helix DNA structure. They'll talk about how it zips and unzips over and over again. And to simplify the process of cellular regeneration, only the activated codes will fire, and it's based upon the frequency of the lightning bolt that we're receiving, the clarity and the frequency of the vibration that we're literally feeding ourselves. Law of attraction, what we're feeding into is feeding and nourishing and nurturing ourselves, and that's the core of self-care. When we accelerate those 555, the positive, and stop itemizing out our complaints and grievances in this experience, then we start to live the life cycle rather than the cycle of death, if that makes sense. So the higher vibrational, imagine those squiggle lines. So low vibration is very, I haven't done my studies in my physics, but this is all layman if we can. So you've got those longer waves. If it's slower, it's a longer wave. And so it spends a longer time swinging in either side of the polarity. The pendulum is another analogy for the wave function, passing through that 0 point and going to either direction. And as you excite and accelerate the frequencies, the higher vibrational frequencies, they become accelerated, and they're much quicker, smaller, shorter. The swing is not as profound and manic depressive, if you want to equate it to your emotionality. The more centered we are, the centripetal is what he's talking about, that force of gravity that becomes the center. It's like when we're centered, we're not literally beside ourselves out here spinning out of control in responsiveness to the conditions, as Abraham Hicks talks about. And then we are the eye of the hurricane. We are steering everything that's occurring around us that we give our attention to. By virtue of our resilient harmonics, we become the magnet, and we are pulling and influencing. And as we're doing this with a higher vibrational frequency, more intentional, more consciously, this is literally accelerating our DNA. It's activating more of the codons than somebody who is a lower frequency. These ones are meeting and matching and replicating, creating a certain amount of cells, where another individual is activating a huge amount of cellular activity and regeneration, creating more youth, more replenishing skin ability. All organs are designed to build themselves. That's what literally happens in the womb. And we have the potential to tap into that by virtue of cleaning up our conscious field of awareness. The frequency of Merkaba, the auric field, supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. Absolutely. It's activating the Akashic inheritance. So all that, the potentiality, Akashic is a term that refers to being able to connect with all knowledge spontaneously, connected to all conscious interaction based on what we're vibrating at a level with, what are we resonating with. And that's how I was channeling something that I don't necessarily have a masterful handle on, because I can hear it and I can sense it and I can feel the implications of it. That's the multidimensional aspect of it. You can feel the implications of a tree that creates from that spiraling, that seed, and then branches in that Fibonacci sequence, then is exhibiting that self-awareness that says, if I grow in this direction, it's not as perfected as if I were to grow in this way. So is the tree, it has intelligence. So therefore, does it have sentience? I would argue it does. It has a Merkaba field. It's exchanging energy. It has magnetism. It has polarity. And it has intelligence. Nature is intelligent. It remains on the bottom here. Let's just do one big shuffle. Okay. Let's get those ones. I see Divine Feminine flipping in the upright here, number 21, which definitely talks about Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, and the Divine Feminine that births us all. And upside down here, passion and authority. So I'm hearing messages that come in from the earth through nature, witnessing the truth of that. Maybe some of you have a passion for watching nature, and for instance, I love the Tao at 11:22 on the clock. The Tao talks about how all things are potentiality, pure potentiality. The Tao to me is a way that somebody tried to philosophize and symbolize this whole quantum experience with the implications of consciousness and how to correctly manage our energy signature through the correct use of our authority and passion with divine grace, wisdom, nourishing and nurturing, and allowing others to choose and define their own paths, and to highly honor the sacred space that we are at the same time with authority that only allows vibrations that are resonant with our frequency. Speaking of which, delight. So, like we're talking, that ecstasy, that spiritual awareness, that if anybody has ever tapped into a higher power, there's sometimes this feeling of it's an essence that's hard to put into language. It's an experience that is like a gasp of breath, an expansion, and a dissipating of tension in the entire field that starts in the center and expands outwards. Now, every once in a while, I'll experience it from the third eye outward, or from the heart outward, or from the gut instincts outward. Now, wherever it's triggering in you is showing you what's being liberated from your field. You're holding some type of tension there. And then when you tap into that release, there's that feeling of bliss and acceptance, tolerance, and non-judgment. And that's pure delight right there. That's the ecstasy of being connected to truth, honoring the sacredness of the simplicity in nature. Conception. Yeah, we're definitely talking about the seeds taking root in our life and conceiving a new way to be here, softening the energy, I'm hearing, the potential and possibilities of the space, and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. Perfect. Prosperity coming out again today. I like to see that one. Under authority. So having the confidence and wherewithal and the manifestation potential by standing in your wisdom and authority, by speaking what you're feeling without having the need or the urge to quantify it necessarily, just understanding. I'm starting to shake a bit in my hands. I don't know if something that you're speaking on in front of a group, maybe, in your life. Are you giving some type of presentation? Yeah. And third eye chakra, we've been talking about that as well, coming under delight. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Heart chakra is under the deck, and what's under that? We've got magic, communication, and fertility showing. So with conception, seed, magic, there's definitely, I mean, on the literal sense of things, you could be definitely nurturing plants and starting gardening. Like in my neck of the wood, that's what time it is. Time to tend to our gardens, but maybe this is more figurative and psychological for yourself. In order to plant the seeds of abundance, we have to allow our third eye to guide us through the storms and to look below the surface where every tree appears to be solitary, every person appears to be on a solitary journey. The undercurrents of the interactions, whether we perceive them in the third dimension to be positive, negative, indifferent, good, bad, ugly, the undercurrent says that we're all serving each other's greater purpose, whether it seems that way or not. So don't waste any time in resentments, jealousies, comparisons, or believing in the roadblocks that try to present. Like for instance, the days where I have something coming up and I feel rushed to get my message. Like today, somebody decided they want to come and visit me, and it's somebody who's in town randomly, so I want to accept that prospect, right? So then do I just say, oh, well, I'll just put off my destiny. I won't record today. I won't show up. No, I'm going to get it done. The days where I didn't have a device to film, I could have taken the redirection and gone back in and meditated, which I did. I meditated more, and I tried to record again, and it wouldn't go. And I kept redirecting my energy, accepting the lessons, learning that. That's a symbol that then I bring forward to the next interaction that I have. And it isn't the particular story that is to be talked about. It's the don't be defeated by the temptation to fall back into old ways of being. You're ready to speak your passions into form. This channel is dedicated to those people who are on their highest path, who have chosen again and again and again to uplift and awaken themselves for the purpose of bringing up as many souls as they can, uplifting as many people in their experience as they possibly can. And so that's probably why that twin flame card keeps coming out, because many people on this journey are here to work with other individuals, and whether or not that ends up being a romantic partnership for some of us or a business partnership, there's soulmate energy, that there's an element of personal sovereignty that comes through traversing a lot of toxicity, a lot of lower vibrational energies, and contradicting and counterbalancing the pendulum so that we can first deviate from the highest highs to the lowest lows and vice versa, and then find that fulcrum of balance. And by virtue of exploring the extremities of energetic exchanges, we learn about holding that center. We earn our wings. We understand how to spin faster and faster without leaving our center, exciting the energy. And it comes through with such great passion, like that gentleman's work that I've been talking about today, Dan Winter. He speaks with such a quick, fast-paced passion about things that he is definitely an authority about. He's creating a lot of information, but many people can't catch up with him. So if you do view his videos, please don't become discouraged, or my own. Sometimes I get talking really fast because the messages, they're excited, and when you start tapping into spirit, it comes so quickly. It can't be put into words. It's a symbol language, and so don't get lost in the forest for the trees that appear. It's a feeling that we're understanding that the trees are working together. I do believe I have company. We have Horseman Herald of Change coming in, number 30. This is a great messenger. Someone's coming in. Pay close attention and pick up the clues that are being laid down in front of you, and take the opportunity to say something, even if you don't think that perhaps a stranger, maybe they're talking about law of attraction in simplistic terms and you identify with that and you have something to add. have the authority to drop that seed, because it'll be fertilized, because here we are activating the general public, because we're surrendering to our magical ability to intone the future, to bring up as many hearts as possible with us. And here's my company, so I'm gonna leave you with these last couple cards. Lost in space, needing direction. So your direction is coming in, and it's bringing you back to center. So this person is outside of the earthly realms. So this is showing me your attention has been put onto things outside of the center of that focus. Under the deck, Dream Thief. Look at that little flying monkey. Refusal of the call, number 13. That's a death cycle there. And it's somebody who hasn't fully awakened their activation. So we can see these people all over the place in our experience, and it could be ourselves not trusting and believing in our higher purpose and potential. So don't allow the flying monkeys of other individuals, them sending their minions, and take this as a greater circle and cycle as well. All of those roots of other individuals infiltrating our experience, and it's the sharing of nurturance amongst others. The flying monkeys are the minions perhaps of the lower world, creating temptation from below. Oh, are you sure you want to reach for personal excellence today? You know, you could just have another frozen pizza to yourself tonight instead of working out. You know, maybe you should just turn on the TV and watch a series that you can get absorbed in instead of leading your life. That's the dream thief saying, you know, don't plan your destiny, but we're here to plan our destiny. What's below this? The perfect storm. Yes, we are the perfect storm, and we have the courage to step into our life. Look at the heart space of this bird, this crow energy, which I believe are the emissaries between worlds, taking the souls into the underworld. And if you can see it, the feathers of this crow are actually peacock feathers superimposed upon the black. You have a unique gift. Nobody else can do your calling for you. Under this is Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain from yesterday. It's an ongoing battle, but we have been activated, and that's the 22 under the 44. That's perfect. Those master numbers are the codes, activating the courage for us to tap into our divine masculine essence, to pursue our calling, to activate our own selves, and to celebrate our unique ability to, and that's that lightning bolt too. Yes, it's the lightning bolt activation code, that we are for others and that others are for us. And the more willing we are to walk with spirit on a daily basis and to speak those codes that come through our third eye out into the world, the more accelerated and excited the energies become, the more passion and delight is going to increase the magical content of your heart and your soul song and the harmonics that reach out forth from you out into the ethers and draw back the abundance that is your birthright. So call that in for yourself. I will stop it there, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you once again for all of your interactions, sharing the messages that come through, and all of those good things, like sharing, commenting, and subscribing if these messages resonate with you. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Thanks.